But Salman Soz, I want to come to you first, because you specifically today claimed that there were irregularities in the election and questioned the entire credibility of the entire election process, particularly in the state of Uttar Pradesh. But when Shashi Tharoor lost by the afternoon, you didn't say a word. So in the morning, you all were questioning the poll process. By afternoon, you seem to be willing to accept gracefully that Mr. Kharge was the president. Tell us exactly, was this poll rigged or not?
Look, Rajdeep, no election is a perfect election. Even if the Election Commission of India organizes elections, there are always imperfections. The fact of the matter is that the Congress party was having its presidential elections after more than 20 years. So there are bound to be some, what I call shortcomings. There is room for improvement. But I don't think, when we look at the totality of this election, I think the Chief Election Authority of the Congress Party, Madhusudan Mistry ji, and his team, I think they worked very hard, long hours, and they did their best. And yes, there were there shortcomings? Definitely.
No, you didn't use the word shortcoming. You went. Mr. Soz, this morning in your letter you said the election process in UP is devoid of credibility and integrity. The facts are damning. Now you're now being soft peddling. Has something changed? Are you maintaining that in certain states like Uttar Pradesh the elections were fixed in a way to favor Mr. Kharge?
Throughout the campaign, we've been in constant communication with Kharge ji's office, with Mistry ji's office, the chief election authority of the Congress party. That continued during the election day, then the following the election day. We did raise concerns. There's no doubt about that. And of course, a letter was leaked, which is unfortunate, but that is what happened. But at the same time, we told Mistry ji's office that ultimately he's the authority and he has to investigate, and once he does, I mean, I'm sure he's going to, there'll be lessons learned from this exercise. I can tell you this, that we have paved the way for the next generation of Congress leaders to have an even better election, in the years to come. So I think we are satisfied, Dr. Tharoor is satisfied, I'm satisfied that we had a very good election. And now I think with this, with Kharge ji as our new president, and he's everybody's president, he's Dr. Tharoor's president, he's my president. But I also want to say, I want to take just a moment to say that I think Dr. Tharoor did exceptionally well. I think he surprised a lot of people. I know there were many people who did not think we would cross 200 votes, but with 1,072 delegates, Dr. Tharoor has shown in some ways that the party's workers and delegates are yearning for change. And by the way, it is not just these 1,072 delegates. I think there are a lot more people in the Congress party, I would say an overwhelming majority of the Congress party, which wants change, which wants more power to the workers, which wants to start winning elections desperately. There's a hunger for it. I hope Kharge ji really seizes on that and takes us forward.
Let me stop you, Salman Soz, because you've transformed, as I said, from the morning where you were screaming irregularities to now saying you accept the electoral verdict, which is perhaps the way, it should be. Jo jeeta wo Sikandar. But Praveen Chakravarty is with us, Congress leader who's part of that election committee. Praveen, can you tell us honestly that this election was free and fair? We were told that delegates were being rung up and told to vote for Mr. Kharge, that there were places where Mr. Tharoor, where senior leaders were told not to be seen with Dr. Tharoor. Are you saying this was entirely free and fair? There will be the suspicion that people will voice that Mr. Kharge was the unofficial official candidate of the Congress High Command.
See, first, I want to actually thank Dr. Shashi Tharoor for forcing a contest, and the very fact that we're having a discussion right now means is because Shashi decided to contest. So I think he deserves credit, and it has to be acknowledged. As regards the process, let me at least outline the scale of the exercise. Nearly 1,000 people working for over a year, executing this election across nearly 38 states and territories, and a process that really has not had a precedence for 2 decades, and there is no other party that does this. So while commentary is good, let us also look at the execution enormity here. Now, was the exercise absolutely flawless and spotless? No, I'll be the first to acknowledge that. But was the election free and fair? Hand to my heart, free and fair election.
No, hand to your heart, you're saying when delegates are rung up from Delhi, when state leaders are all seen to line up behind Mr. Kharge, are you telling me that the perception wasn't there a perception he was the unofficial official candidate of the Gandhis?
Rajdeep, you are an election mania, I know that, and so election is about perceptions. It's about creating perceptions. I think we are conflating two things here. When you call the process free and fair, it is about the election process, not about electioneering. It's a contest for power. People are bound to posture, people are bound to get aggressive. But what constitutes a free and fair election? Was every voter free to vote for whoever they wanted? Was every voter able to vote? Was every vote a secret? The answer is yes to all of these. Now, how can you say that somebody calling someone, while it may seem unfair to one party, constitutes an unfair election? Even in the United States, Donald Trump as president supports a primary candidate. So let us not conflate the two just because some of you may not have had the outcome that you chose to see.